Welcome to the Once Upon a Sunday Fantasy Football Podcast with your hosts, Josh Kimmel, Dave Campbell, and Justin Bowerly.
Welcome to Once Upon a Sunday Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, Josh, and tonight we are breaking down the top 8 quarterbacks for our redraft season. Last week we did tight end, so if you missed that, go back and check that on our YouTube channel, OUSFFpod, of course.com. You can go there and check out all of our content, all of our rankings to follow along if you're listening on the audio portion of it. Tonight we're also doing a Once Upon a Draft special Olympic version of it, so stay tuned for that. That'll be at the very end of the show. So if you want to skip forward to that, I understand. That's the fun part. But before I go on any further, let's bring in our co-host, Justin Bowerly. And we have a special one. Not Jacob. We definitely don't have Jacob on the show. We have Dirtbag Dave back in the studio. What's going on, guys?
What is up? What's up, Dave? Long time no see, man. Glad to see you show up to work some days.
I think he's frozen.
Dave's already frozen. This is
I'm not. Gotcha.
Oh,
Idiot.
and then he did freeze. That's the best part.
That's the best part.
I'm really weirded out. Hold on. I have to change this. Okay, there we go.
There we go.
I feel a lot better now.
Yes, me too. So, guys, tonight I'm super excited because we do have a guest on. We do have a first-time guest on tonight. That's pretty exciting. Can't wait to introduce him pretty soon. But before we get into that, I have a couple things I want to bring up to address the show. First off, again, all the Super League drafts are going smooth. They've all been awesome. No one's been complaining. Only one person out of like 86 people, I forgot how many people, 84 people. Only one out of 84 had the nerve to complain about the draft and the rules, and he's here tonight. And he happens to be to this side. This guy's always causing commotion in the chat, saying third round reversal sucks, had to go on this whole soliloquy. But other than that, the drafts have been smooth and fun. Thank you all for participating in that. That's enough housekeeping for me. Do you want to go ahead and bring in our guest or do you have something to say?
I have nothing. We're Super League's been great. It's been great.
Yes, it's been super fun, super amazing. And if you're just drafting and you're missing out on the chat, go ahead and interact, make some friends, network. That's what we're here for. And of course, raise money for charity. So go ahead to OUSFF pod.
We're at $1,033. That's my update. So
that's pretty awesome.
Of a $2,000 goal. So it's pretty awesome.
Halfway there. Without further ado, let's bring in our guest, Jason Draven. I asked you before the show and I still messed it up. That's just my style. So sorry.
It's all good. How's everybody doing?
Pretty good, man.
Good. Great. Glad to have you on. Of course.
Happy to be
Jason,
here.
Justin. So funny story. The most common name I get called that's not Justin is Jason. So this will be great. So if Josh asks you a question and I start answering, it's habit at this point. So
it is.
Completely understand.
Hey, but Jason, let us know where we can find you. You know, what do you do best? What do you specialize in? Plug it away, sir.
Yeah. So I do start sit. That's my bread and butter. Now it's gonna be Thursday, Sunday, and Monday to help you guys set your lineups. But you can find me at Important Nonsense and that FF Nerd everywhere. So TikTok, Twitter, all that good stuff. I'm just doing all that, enjoying it all, getting ready for redraft. The important things. Speaking of the important things, we do have our top 8 quarterbacks here. We're going to break down. But before that, we have a trade that I want to talk about before we get into it. Me and Dave made a amazing dynasty trade. And I'm glad you're on the show because start sits. I've been saying this for a long time. I'm not going to go on a huge soapbox rant, but everyone they invest so much time, especially nowadays in late July, early August, on who am I drafting first? Who's going to wrap around in the second? Yada, yada, yada. I understand it's the foundation, but it's not the most important thing in fantasy. It's week to week start sit situations. That's the number one thing that we all overlook because it's all about the draft, who we draft. And so, can you talk about that real quick? Yeah. I mean, it's granted what they say is you can't win the draft. You can't win from your draft, but you can lose. So with that kind of in mind, I always work my waiver wire. I grab players that I see as potential breakouts. I always have a couple pieces at the end of my bench that are, valuable, have that upside. I've seen their snap percentage increase, all those little things that you can kind of slowly see. They're on the field more and more throughout the season. You can kind of pick a soft schedule as well and kind of float that into how you determine who you're playing as well, who they're matching up against. And so with that kind of in mind, it's, you have to stay active. If you're not staying active, it's going to be very hard to win. So that's the biggest thing, is just staying active and paying attention to all the little, hey, even, Sunday, people will drop people and you're able to kind of snipe them right up and pick them up. Handcuffs are usually a big thing that people will pick up on Sundays just in case. But I like to shoot for this star as best I can and we'll move from there. So that's the big part of it.
Yeah, Dave and I have been talking about this for years. I've been playing fantasy football with Dave the longest, and we always talk about it correlates roster transactions or moves correlates with the winners of the league. You can't just draft an awesome team and go, "Yep, I'm awesome," and just sit back. And Dave, right here, he's the trade master of the show. So let's break down the trade that me and you made, Dave, in a dynasty league. Do you have it in front of you, Dave? I know you do.
I don't, but I know what it is.
I was looking for it. I couldn't remember which group chat it's in. We have two.
It was easy.
With the same four
Joe
people.
Burrow and DJ Chark for Bijan Robinson and Deontay. Why are you acting like this is a huge trade?
I forgot about it. I forgot
four
about
names that you have to remember.
I thought it was yesterday. I'm sorry.
Exactly. Okay,
So-
well, that's the trade. Burrow and DJ Chark for Bijan Robinson and Deontay Johnson.
So
That
this
was-
one, it was a big trade. It's a big trade, right? Those are top
is.
dogs. So I'm going to ask Justin, when you saw it, what did you think about that trade? I just want to know your opinion. Superflex League.
Burrow, Chark, Robinson, and who?
Deontay Johnson.
Deontay Johnson.
Chark
I don't
isn't
know what's
that-
going on. Why is it?
I mean,
it's really depending on what
We're
your
looking
team-
at Bijan and
Well-
Burrow, and
well-
then
well-
Chark and
and
Deontay. But
Here's my thing, and I wanted to bring this up for a reason. Bijan is a hot topic in my fantasy life right now. It's a big name, and I want you guys to go to our YouTube page and watch our short that are Bijan versus Saquon Barkley video that I just put out. Justin just put out. We just put out. So did we all put it out? And I just want you guys to remember.
You put it out like you
remember,
edited it and you
I didn't do shit. I didn't do S. I recorded. I was literally just telling Justin why Saquon's a better football player than Bijan Robinson. That's all I was doing. I had nothing else. But in Dynasty, this is a huge deal. We value these running backs going into the redraft season, but we forget these guys have short shelf lives. And I think I majorly got over on Dave, and he doesn't understand it, and he thinks that he won the trade. And I just wanted to bring that up.
I never said that. I never said that.
All right.
You
All
probably got
He's frozen.
the best
again.
player overall. If we're drafting, Burrow's going to go before Bijan.
Okay. I just want to let everyone know that's
Is it
listening that our
Superflex?
friends. That's all. Yeah, it's Superflex.
Okay.
Listen,
it's like-
everyone, the whole thing is that Josh always bends over for Dave. And I finally get over, kind of I'm really happy with the trade. And it's he doesn't even let me have it. No one lets me have it.
I never said it was a bad trade or a good trade. I think it's.
I know.
I
fair trade.
truthfully-
I also have, if you want to talk about rosters, I have. Go ahead. I don't know if if anybody can even hear me. Apparently,
we can hear you now. You
Sign
cut out for a minute,
language.
but
I don't
That
know what's
won't help.
happening.
truthfully, I don't.
Well, I had
don't
two other stud
remember-
quarterbacks. That's the only reason
I
I
know.
traded Burrow.
I know.
Okay, so
I just
that-
wanna
that
let the-
helps me
I just
out.
wanted to
was
let
gonna
one
say, truthfully, I
listener-
don't remember who was who and who got what, but I would almost lean Bijan and Deontay. I'm
Oh.
hoping Deontay has a bigger bounce back this year on a new team. Hopefully a more accurate quarterback. Although the Steelers just got Russell Wilson, but they also just got Roman Wilson, which is going to be confusing. But
Deontay Johnson.
I'm
plays
hoping
for the
Deontay
Panthers
has
now.
a bounce back. So
Deontay Johnson plays for the Panthers now.
yeah, I know. He's got
Oh.
Bryce Young.
He's
who-
going up against Thielen and Leggett, right?
And
Yeah.
is Jonathan
Yeah,
Mingo
correct,
still on the
so-
team?
Yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah,
just cut
he's
him in
there.
Dynasty a couple
It's deep.
days ago. It's pretty bad. All right, let's get into our quarterback rankings. We have number 1, Patrick Mahomes. This is all by the way, this is OUS rankings. This isn't anyone else. This is just our rankings. So we
I'm
have
not
Patrick Mahomes, number 1 overall. Now, Dave, you're the only person who doesn't have him ranked 1. You have Josh Allen ranked 1, I believe.
Apparently, I have Josh Allen
Yeah.
and Mahomes both ranked 3rd, so that's cool.
I just saw that. Whoever made this graphic today, I'm not gonna point any fingers.
Didn't have
but
enough coffee.
Backstage,
Josh Allen is my number 1 quarterback. Yes.
He worked from home today. Yeah, Josh Allen is Dave's number 1 quarterback. It's not an
Me and Dave are on the
OUS show
same
if we
page
don't
then.
mess up a graphic at some point. So
Yeah, that's true, Jason. That's what we do.
it's the name of it. It's the name of the show.
Looking at these rankings, do you think it's odd that we have Josh Allen so low and Patrick Mahomes actually the alpha number 1?
No, it makes sense. I mean, you're really hoping that Rashee Rice isn't going to have that suspension. He's adding another weapon, well, 2 in Brown and Worthy, both good options. And so it's very interesting to kind of see how this is going to break down. A lot more upside potential. It's hard to get away from Josh Allen being that consistent player. He's going to rush. He's going to get you a standard level there if he scores, which who knows? It can be passing or him running. It's just, I just prefer that. But Mahomes, again, very shifty. They're definitely not going to have him doing any up the middle at the 1 because they don't want that franchise QB to go down. So it kind of lose that ability, but he does scramble, does make big plays. It's very curious to see how Worthy and Brown will work together. And hopefully Rice is there for most of the year. I mean, it's kind of looking like he's going to at least make it until playoffs. So, and then of course Kelsey and Pacheco, if they can really just have it all going. The issue is I'm aware their defense has gotten too good, which is why he's knocked down a little bit for me, is because that defense really started to step up there towards the end. And if he doesn't have to throw as much or do as much work, I don't see a need to.
Yeah, I hear you on that one. Dave, I have some questions for you with Josh Allen specifically. Last year, he scored 15 touchdowns on the ground. If you take his numbers from 2022 and 2021, rushing touchdowns, doesn't match what he did last year combined. So we're expecting a regression from Josh Allen on the ground, touchdown-wise, of course. He also lost Stephon Diggs, his main target. He also lost Gabe Davis, his fluky target. He added a rookie, Keon Coleman, and added Curtis Samuel, good gadget player, had big upside for Curtis Samuel. Dave, are you just hoping this rushing stays afloat? Because, again, I don't expect Buffalo to want him to be the Superman, just like the whole Patrick Mahomes situation. So talk about it.
I think he is
Like, that works.
Superman. I think he's and I don't know if anybody can even hear me right now, but I think he's awesome. And yeah, he might not score 15 touchdowns rushing, but he's been the number 1 QB like 4 years in a row. 1 year he was QB2. The year that he was QB2 is the year that the T. Higgins thing happened, where they didn't get to finish that game, or he probably would have been QB1 that year too. He's so good. He gets so much hate, and I don't know why. I guess because of playoffs, people hate on people who can't win a Super Bowl, but he's gotten far. He's not the reason they're losing in the playoffs. Josh Allen is amazing. If Josh Allen was on the Chiefs, they'd still have 3 or 4, whatever it is. Like, I believe that. The Chiefs are just a better team. They have better coaching. I think Josh Allen he's not Mahomes because he hasn't won it yet. But I honestly, truthfully think if you swap those guys, that Josh Allen would have three MVPs or something like that. He's that good, and I don't think that's going to fall off. I just think he's so good that, yeah, he doesn't have Diggs anymore. Coleman, I think, is a good player. I think Kincaid's going to step up. I just think that Josh Allen is just too good. He's just the guy that I want to have.
No, can't argue there, Justin. You do have Mahomes 1, and I'm not going to speak too much on Mahomes on this one, but I will say that 70% of his games in the past 4 years, he's been 18 points or more in a single week, as in he doesn't really flop a lot at all. So that's the safe thing about Mahomes. Now, why did you rank Mahomes 1? Give us a reason.
He still has the best tight end in the league, who acts as a wide receiver. We added Worthy, we added Brown. We hope Rice will be back. Even if Rice plays half the season, that's great for the Chiefs. You see in practices they're working on different gadget plays for Worthy. We play this in college football right now. The jet touch pass. I expect to see Worthy in that all the time. I mean, he literally broke the 40-yard dash record and didn't run into a hamstring injury like John Ross did. I see this offense being better than they were last year. Yeah, the defense was really good. They also lost L'Jarius Sneed over the offseason, so that is a little bit of a step back. They do have Trent McDuffie, but you still lose out on one of your all-pro corners. Will they be as good as they were last year? That's what I really want to know. So the offense might still have to score. Josh Allen's good. Don't get me wrong. Josh Allen is very, very good. I think usually I would put him at 1. I hate putting Patrick Mahomes at 1. I don't know why I'm a Patrick Mahomes hater, but this year I'm just going to join all the bandwagons that everybody has been on for the last 5 years and put the best player in the league at number 1.
Yeah, for me, it's safety. And Josh Allen has the unknown of who is going to be the alpha there.
Yeah, and will he get the rushing touchdowns this year? Will the Bills finally decide that they're going to stop running him as much in the red zone and actually give the ball to James Cook? That's my question.
I don't think they're going to have a choice. I mean, he's a ball player. Like, he's far with legs. Like, he's a gamer, man. Like, when it's 1st and 5 or, 2nd and goal and he's scrambling around and Kincaid can't get open or James Cook can't, whatever, he's just going to run it in. That's what he does. So, to Dave's point, he is amazing. And to, everyone else's point, why he should be number 1 is because of his rushing upside. And Mahomes doesn't bring that. He does rush about 300 yards a year, which is nice. That's what you want with your quarterback if they throw a ton of touchdowns. Just won't get enough done. Another guy might get it done on the ground, Jalen Hurts. We have him at quarterback 2. He's going ADP right now, quarterback 3, 26th overall. Is it still crazy that we have Jalen Hurts above Josh Allen in our rankings? Like, we're crazy. We're psychopaths. Right? Justin.
Well, it's an OC change, right? That's what's kind of boosting him up is that you're hoping he's going to throw more, going to hit more wide open. It's not going to have that stagnant offense. It's going to kind of stop you. You're really hoping that Moore's going to come in and do something, but they have also really great wide receivers. I mean, you have all these guys that are really good at catching the ball. Issue becomes then is, are Kelsey retired? Are you still going to be able to do the brotherly shove and get into the end zone that way? Or how's it going to work? Are you going to get that 5-6 yards every time you need a first down? Who knows? And so that's kind of the question mark. And I mean, it makes sense as to why you're hoping he's going to throw more and run a little less, but still be able to be an effective scorer. So completely understand why. It's just, difference of opinion as always, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, if we all the same rankings, how boring would it be, right? It wouldn't make much sense. Dave, I'm going to go to you. I don't know if the graphic is right, but where do you have Jalen Hurts ranked? Do you remember?
I'm not even sure. I think
2.
Third.
You have him 2.
Oh, I have Mahomes third.
You have Mahomes 3rd.
Okay.
Yeah. We were all.
That's right.
We all have the same number 2. We just flipped on Mahomes and Allen.
Okay, so I mean he's good. He's a running quarterback. We've seen him do it multiple years now. I don't think he's a great NFL quarterback, but he's still really, really good. I just don't think he's as good as like a Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. But he scores a ton of touchdowns on the ground. That could change with Saquon there. He's a little bit bigger. Maybe maybe they'll give him the ball. I don't know. Like Jason said, are they still going to do the tush push? Who knows? He's still going to get enough points between on the ground. AJ Brown, Goddard, Smith. They just got too many weapons to where he's still going to be great. So I'm still not taking any of these guys as high, but they're still awesome.
That's a good point to bring up. Like, even though these guys are all great, where would you have to? I'll start with Jason. I'll ask you, where would you have to have one of these guys fall for you to be comfortable drafting them so early?
I don't draft QB. So I normally wait. I'm a definite waiter. So ideally your first quarterback is 7-8 round, unless it's a super flex. Then I completely understand that first round. You have to have at least one, if not the first 2 rounds, you're getting your first and second quarterback. But man, it's a steep price for what you're potentially giving up. And I think people were still kind of holding on to that 2022 year when if you didn't have a good quarterback, you kind of got sunk. There weren't any consistent waiver QBs available, and so I think that also is boosting some of these guys up a little more as well.
No, I agree
well,
with
that.
that.
Well, now we live in a world where there's 40 quarterbacks that play in a single season, so it's.
Yeah, I think it was 49 last year that had a QB in 1 week.
Yeah, I don't think these 3 quarterbacks will. I mean, we should hopefully, knock on wood, don't have those kind of concerns. Jalen Hurts is a very solid number 2. 38 rushing touchdowns over the last 3 seasons. That's 6 points per touchdown. That's insane. Not all of that comes from the tush push, so this doesn't really necessarily hurt Saquon. We talked about this in our video. I'm not going to rehash that out, Josh. But Jalen Hurts is very close to being just the number 1 guy because of his receiving weapons. I mean, we talk about Patrick Mahomes having slightly better receiving options than Josh Allen does. Jalen Hurts has the best core around him out of these 3 quarterbacks with Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith. Dallas Goedert is not quite Kelsey and Kincaid, but if I'm going to get Brown and Smith over the other wide receivers, I'll take it.
I put Goddard over Kincaid skill-wise. I like we haven't seen enough of Kincaid yet. We haven't seen enough yet. And I'm the highest. Good. I'm the highest on Kincaid in our rankings. That's a proof. You can go to our website.
Kincaid is a better athlete.
But I'm saying Goddard's really proven more. But he's proven more at the tight end
because he's been around longer.
I know, but we're projecting. I understand that, Dave. But just to lump him in there, like, oh yeah, Kincaid is better than Goddard. Okay,
I think he's at least as good. I think at least he's easily as good.
Listen, let's just see a full season. I just don't like lumping general.
You're right. We have to see a full season.
Lumping that in. That'd be like me saying, Anthony Richardson up there with Lamar and Jalen Hurts. Like, okay, let's see more than 4 games. All right, let's just chill on that.
That's so hurtful.
That is a good point, Justin. Though you made, it's ridiculous that we give Josh Allen all these props when he lost a ton of assets, and we still have doubters on Jalen Hurts. Like Dave said, I don't think he's a good pro quarterback. That's his knock right now. Well, I mean, he has the best offensive weapons out of all 3 of these. And honestly, I see a world where he could be quarterback 1, like Justin said. Let's go over, because I think we talked about Josh Allen enough. I do want to get to these other quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson, we have at quarterback 4. Right now, he's going ADP quarterback 4 and 36 overall. Lamar is just another world of quarterback, like just another tier in his own athletic world, but not so much for fantasy because he doesn't throw as much touchdowns as we want. I'm going to ask Dave first. Are you afraid Derrick Henry's going to take some value away at the goal line at all?
Exactly. None at all. No, why would I? Well, Lamar doesn't rush the ball he rushes the ball like crazy. He doesn't get those 1-yard TDs like Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts. So that's not going to affect him much. He's still going to get an 8 or 10 or 20 or all those yards. So he's still going to get. Henry, I think, is just going to keep the offense going even better. I think Baltimore's going to be nice. I think Derrick Henry's got a year or 2 left in him. I think Lamar's still awesome, especially running the ball, and he's good enough. Obviously passing. They got some weapons. I think Lamar's going to be awesome. But yeah, I'm not worried about Henry. I think if anything, he's going to help the offense.
Jason, do you ever see Lamar repeating a 40 touchdown season ever again like he did, I think, second year?
I mean, maybe passing. He has really good offensive weapons.
Yeah.
It's extremely frustrating. But,
yes.
I mean, it's just you have to really hope that he's able to not fall back to his running. Don't get me wrong. He's a great rusher. Like, you absolutely love that for him. But seeing him, throw, he had a great connection there at the end with Flowers. They started to really click. Andrews was out for part of the year. Curious to see how that works. Likely is clearly kind of separating himself into another role as well. Per usual, they're talking of Bateman, which I don't actually know if I believe anymore, but people hope. You never know. It could happen. For
5th-year breakout. 5th-year breakout. It happens all the time.
Hey, you think Sam Darnold's gonna be a 5th-year break, whatever he is over there in Minnesota?
I think he's gonna have an okay season. I never say he's gonna be awesome.
Well, and he'll be fine. He'll support JJ probably, and we'll see how the rest of it goes. But it's just, you're hoping that he gets 4,000 yards. And if he can get to 33 touchdowns, you're probably seeing a QB2. Overall, he's clearly going to be quarterback 1 on the as a section. He's going to be top 12 QB no matter what because of his rushing floor and, of course, barring injury. But he's just an athlete, and so if his throwing continues to get better and his weapons can stay healthy, it'll be very interesting to see if he can hit that 4,000 yard mark passing.
No, I agree. I mean, isn't it more valuable though to throw for 3,600 yards like he did last year and rush for 800 and have 24 passing touchdowns on top of the 5 rushing touchdowns? Like those rushing yards, I wouldn't want him to sacrifice 300 or 350 rushing yards just to reach the 4,000 mark. It wouldn't be worth it fantasy wise. But man, I would love to see
get 7 to like 900 rushing. I mean, you're looking pretty set there. It's just you don't want him. I mean, like I said, if he can hit that 30 passing TD mark, I think he would be a much better quarterback. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up being a QB1 at that point.
Yeah, if he could reach those numbers again. He had 24 touchdowns last year in the air. He surprisingly had 3,600 passing yards, his career high in passing yards, career high, or not career high in passing touchdowns. He had that in 36 his second year. But yeah, he had a phenomenal season last year, and Zay Flowers and him looked really, really good together. I'd like to see them open the playbook more, get more down, field passing. Justin, do you see them running Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews? Because I know you're a big Mark Andrews lover. I know you are.
I like Likely better, to be honest with you.
That a baby.
But you know me and my twin tight end sets all the time in fantasy. I would love to see them use both Likely and Andrews. They both are effective on the field. I think as Andrews gets older, I think Likely's role expands so that they can go ahead and get him involved earlier to get him production now to hopefully become the next Mark Andrews on their roster. And if we're looking at the other wide receivers, Zay Flowers, right? Like there's no other like rosterable Ravens wide receiver on that.
I don't know. Aguilar
roster,
might be something, right?
Oh, no.
For what, one
continues to be there.
game? Like
Yeah,
one
like
single game, like in best ball.
He has that one game where he always
If you have
blows
20
up and
bench
people
spots
get
in
so
a
mad.
best ball league, like okay, I'll take Nelson Aguilar. But like we're looking at Zay Flowers, Derrick Henry, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely. That is their offense outside of Lamar Jackson. So
That's
yeah, I would
pretty
love to
good.
see them run both.
Keaton Mitchell, is that coming back?
Is his knee okay?
I mean, eventually it will be, right?
Do we see Derrick Henry really giving up target snaps? Like I think this is the hungriest Derrick Henry's going to be this year. And I did say I would not be surprised if he scores 20 touchdowns and he just takes over that offense for one season or whatever, maybe.
15, so.
Yeah, 15. I know, and a lot of people will because he doesn't have the receiving upside and he's older and yada yada yada. But we just saw Raheem Mostert score like a bajillion touchdowns, and Raheem Mostert's not even on the level of Derrick Henry. So, and Derrick Henry is younger and more talented than Raheem Mostert. Now that's
Behind
offensive.
a better line.
Yes, yes,
And he goes to the best offense he's ever been a part of.
Yeah,
and like Raheem Mostert was schemed to do that. There was many times where he didn't, but that's just the play call that was. We'll see what happens over there in Baltimore, but I'm going to be really, really curious how they treat that red zone or goal to go offense. If it's going to be more Derrick Henry or are they going to let Lamar cook? The next guy on our list is CJ Stroud. Justin's a big fan of this guy. He is ADP right now, quarterback 5, going 45th overall. He was a big surprise for the fantasy community. There's only one person I know that called this, and his name is Josh Wingate. And you can find him here on the Finstock Sports Network. But we are all off of CJ Stroud, all of us. And he proved us wrong. Jason, were you off of CJ Stroud?
last year, I honestly don't know. I probably was because I believed Mills was going to start a few games, and so that probably knocked him out of QB1 contention. But this was just an incredible, and now he's adding another weapon and a better running back. It's dangerous.
Yeah, it's pretty alarming the amount of talent, how much talent he has around him. Nico Collins now, Tank Dell, of course, Stephon Diggs and Joe Mixon. Dave, this has been a hot topic all season. Would you prefer? I want to ask you straight up. I don't know your rankings off the top of your head. It's draft day tomorrow. Are you taking Lamar Jackson or CJ Stroud?
I'm still taking Lamar.
Still
taking Lamar. But you know what's funny is I was just looking at my rankings and I had Stroud 7, and I'd probably move him up a couple of spots because I really like that. Their offense is going to be good, man. I think they're going to be really good. So if I was on the spot, I don't know. I still think I'd take Lamar because I think those top 4 are kind of, to me, solidified. they've done it before kind of thing. Not that I think Stroud's going to drop off because I don't, but I think I'd take those other 4 with the rushing abilities especially, and then Stroud might be my number 5 now that I think about it, but he's going to be good.
Yeah, definitely would like to see the rushing come up a bit. 167 yards last year, not too bad, right? Not too bad, but he doesn't need a run. He's got an arm. He's got a cannon.
It's 10 yards a game, bro. That's plenty.
Yeah, 10. Yeah, 1 point. There we go.
I was trying to look back on how we viewed Stroud in rankings last year between the two of us, because we know Dave.
Oh, I hated him. I didn't have him at all.
Dave didn't rank anybody, but yeah, you didn't.
I didn't want him
because you didn't have a ranking. But I was like, you know what? Let me go look, because it's like I feel like we weren't that down on him. I think I had him as my QB2 going into the draft, like behind Richardson. I think it was Richardson, Stroud, and then Bryce Young. Oh, I had Bryce Young barely over him, which is crazy to think back. I had him at 31. You had him at 32.
Me? Yeah, I hated him. I can
so that like
it was also just hating that offense in general.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's definitely fair.
Nobody knew what Tank Dell was going to be. Nobody knew Nico Collins was going to have 1,300 yards. Like, let's be honest.
I did call Nico because the Houston is one thing I've loved the past couple years.
I remember driving back from Scott Fishbowl's draft in Chicago last year and listening to a bunch of people saying, "Oh, Nico Collins." I'm like, is
and
he
Brandon
really
Cooks
going
before that? It's just how
Yeah,
I can pick that Houston wide receiver that's going to go off. So
who's the Houston receiver this year? Is it Tank this year?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
has to be, man.
You hear it here first. I mean, he's called the last 2, so here's the third one.
Diggs is the alpha there. Let's chill. Diggs.
Everybody stop pretending like Diggs is not still one of the best players in the league.
He is. He's going to take all the targets away from Schultz.
Oh, 100%. I think we agree on that.
1,000%. Hey, don't do Schultz like that.
But I like Schultz. Man, they got weapons.
Schultz is going down my rankings.
I think Schultz is going to be good, but he's going to get overshadowed because they have so many other weapons, which sucks. So I think Schultz is a good player.
Yeah, I agree. I think Schultz is going to be the one that suffers here, unfortunately. But I hope Stroud keeps it up. We saw a huge drop off from when Lamar. I mean, this is just random quarterbacks that I don't have any official stats and doesn't mean anything. But after Lamar threw his 36 touchdowns, he fell down. Even when Mahomes threw his a bajillion touchdowns, he had to drop off. I'm not saying Stroud's going to drop off, but I wouldn't.
Full year of tape.
I wouldn't put another thing. People don't. Sometimes they think, oh, he's only can go up. Sometimes they start watching that tape and they come back down to earth a little bit. And he's got weapons everywhere, so I think we all expect him to be good. But if he dropped off a little bit, that's normal. Like that's the best of the best drop off. Like let's be real, it happens.
I mean, there's a guy
the sophomore slump is real.
Well, there's a guy at quarterback 7 we'll talk about later who we all crowned him top of the world at one point, right? And we'll get him later. Let's go on to Anthony Richardson. We have quarterback 6 right now. He's going ADP quarterback 6, 51 overall. Justin, how many games did he officially play last year?
4.
How many did he finish? 1,
2.
To
be fair, the first game against the Texans, he missed 1 snap and that was it. Like at the very end of the game, he missed the final snap of that drive. So I would almost count 3, but technically Gardner Minshew came in for a snap.
I thought he went out early on another game, but maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, the game he actually got hurt.
Yeah, no, I mean, I thought he missed like a half of a game, like a different game. Maybe.
Now, here's the thing: is even the game that he got hurt in, he still scored 20 points in the first half. I mean, it's not like he isn't scoring points. He scored. He scored 4 points in that game.
4.4
went out in the first. Yeah, so 21.92. He left with a play left of the game in the red zone, so he could have had another 6 points there. 17 in the Houston game, 29 in the LA game. He missed the third game because of the injury in the second game against Houston. So,
second game against Houston was not good for him.
No.
6 for 56 and 2 rushing touchdowns.
Still got the dub.
Here's what I'm curious.
Really boosted up by that rushing TDs, though.
He's only thrown 84 passes in his NFL career. How many times has he been down and the game script changed where he had to actually step in the pocket and throw the football in those 4 games? That's what I'm going to be curious of, because we always like to say, even with Jalen Hurts, Lamar, or even Josh Allen at one point in his career, when is he going to have to be forced to throw the ball, and will he still be an effective NFL quarterback? Kind of like the whole Cam Newton situation way back when, when he was aging out of the league. He was good for rushing, but when he went back and threw it, we all know what Cam Newton happened. So, Justin, I'm asking you, do you feel confident that he can bring your team back from a 4th quarter deficit and actually sling the ball out there to Michael Pittman and hit these wide open receivers?
Here's the thing. If you didn't watch the Rams game and see him get hit by Aaron Donald in the middle of jumping and still make a 30-yard completion for the first down, you're not going to understand this. Yes, he can step into the pocket. He can make those throws. He can hit his targets. This is the best he's looked.
We'll see.
I wasn't a fan
we talk
coming out of
about
college
rushing
'cause he
outside
was
quarterbacks
terrible.
all the time. So.
But that's why we want him, because Justin Fields is awful at football, and he's a great fantasy quarterback. So that's why I want.
And
Anthony
that's what
Richardson.
we're talking about, right?
And that's
I mean,
all
we're not
it's
talking
100%,
about like
1,000%.
NFL players. Like we're talking about fantasy players right here.
And that's why we like these guys, because they can be terrible at football and awesome at fantasy football, and both can be true. So
he's a straight up.
But Richardson may be good. I don't know.
He's an athlete. So
he is an athlete.
He's got the arm power. I was a little bit worried about his shoulder in OTAs. I'm not worried about his shoulder anymore. I think it's fine now. Who knows?
Really
we could see Anthony Richardson be
every game.
Well, I mean, for my own sanity, yes, that would be great. But who knows? He could finish as a bottom 20 quarterback or a 20 to 24 quarterback. He could also finish in the top 5. There's really, I mean, this is going to be the true test.
Plays,
for him.
I'd be hard pressed to see him that low. I think just his rushing upside alone, he's going to be, minimum, you think 12 to 15, even if he's just terrible at passing. If he's as good as he was last year rushing the ball, he'll be, a serviceable quarterback. So, again, fantasy is completely different than real life. We'll see how good he is, but he's got the upside, and that's what we kind of shoot for.
I mean, besides that Rams game, he only rushed for 35, 40 yards a game. This is the rushing touchdowns like Jason
scoring
brought
the
up.
TDs.
Yeah, the TDs. Those are huge. I mean, we can't expect him to score 17 touchdowns.
Why
in
not?
a game.
Josh Allen did it. Jalen Hurts did it.
He scored 15.
You know what I'm talking about. Same thing right there. I'm just saying, like, it's possible. I agree. It's hard to do, but it's in the realm of possibility.
I think he's great. I'm just playing I'm playing the negative person because that's my role here on this show. If you haven't noticed by now. No, you're the one who doesn't pay attention. And Jason's a cool guest. So he hasn't really spoken on Anthony Richardson. It sounds like you're down on him. Are you just messing with Justin?
I mean, I see his rankings now, so I see where he's at on him.
How low? I was going to ask him how low is he?
He has him right in our range. I mean, Josh has him at 9. I have him at 7. Dave has him at 8. And Jason, you can tell him where you have him.
I have him at 8. He's right there. It's, again, the rushing ability is there. There's a lot of potential upside. In a half, he scored 20 points. Like that, it's that kind of thing. If he needs to run and score touchdowns, he's going to do that. And so, again, the big thing for them is Colts actually have a decent defense. So, I'm getting a bad face from Justin over here.
No, I never hear that from anyone outside of Indianapolis. So, this is like
of course not, because they don't, and if they can hold teams, and they're able to score effectively and really extend the time of possession, they're going to win games. And if Richardson has to chuck that long ball to get it done or rush for a first down, it's going to happen. And so the longer games are going to really attribute to him, becoming a better quarterback. And like he said, arm talent's off the chart. It's just more of the fact is Pittman going to be the guy? Is Downs going to be the guy? Who is he going to be passing to? Does Jonathan Taylor affect it? Like there's a lot of little things that are going to be contributions to kind of see how that affects everything and if it's a positive or negative for him. So have him pretty high, and it's definitely risky.
The thing that gets me, and this will be the last thing I say on Anthony Richardson tonight.
I hope.
when did Jalen Hurts become fantasy relevant? Who was his offensive coordinator?
Oh, that I don't know.
Shane Steichen. Who's the head coach for the Indianapolis Colts? Shane Steichen. And this is going to be the first time, hopefully, that we see Anthony Richardson and Jonathan Taylor play for more than 2 snaps.
Does Anthony Richardson
Jim Bob Cooter,
or did was Steichen? Did he get to bring AJ Brown and Devontae Smith with him? I'm just curious.
I mean, that would be great. That would be great, obviously, but like.
No, I get what you're saying.
Pittman's not bad.
But
and showed he was serviceable last year.
Pittman's a solid player.
Pittman's going to be a solid play this year. He's going to be borderline wide receiver 1 in fantasy this year.
Question.
I'm going to call that now.
Is
Adonai Mitchell?
He's currently wide receiver 4 for the Colts.
Damn. Is Richardson on behind Pierce?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave.
So to answer Jason's question, yes, currently Pierce is the clear wide receiver 3 right now in camp. That can change, Pierce? Obviously. Alec Pierce, yes.
Yes,
I don't believe that at all.
He's just
I thought he
straight
was
up
dead, so I don't believe that
but
at all. Sorry.
I think Alec Pierce will be a wide receiver 4, and I think A.D. Mitchell will be wide receiver 3.
Okay.
It's like arguing Nelson Aguilar versus other bums out there.
Rashawn Bateman.
Sorry, we're not.
How has Richardson or QB6 if nobody has him ranked that high?
Yeah,
how ranked super low?
So that's what I was also curious about, and then I had to go to the other rankings that are added to our list. Jacob has him at 7, Sean 6, and then we also include a little bit of Fantasy Pros, not all the way, but they also have him at 6. The thing is, he is 0.1 above the guy below him. The guy below him is also tied with the guy below him. So he's like he could be 6, he could be 8. It's a very it's a 0.1 difference between 6
It's a
and 8.
0.1 difference between Anthony Richardson.
I was just wait, you named all of us and none of us were that high. So I was like,
but here's the thing. From 5 to 6, it's almost a 2-point difference. So there's a gap that we have between 5 and 6.
Exactly. And this next guy on our list, quarterback 7, Joe Burrow, going ADP quarterback 7, 58 overall. So Cody Rhodes is here, and he is finishing his story this year. Justin's a big Cincinnati Bengals hater this year. He thinks Chase will finish outside the top 12. You said this. You said Chase will finish outside the top 12.
It's my way too early bold prediction.
And seeing Joe Burrow, if you're a wrestling fan at all, Jason, I don't know if you are or not, but seeing him look like one of the biggest pansies in professional wrestling right now made me want to drop him even more on my. I can't stand Cody Rhodes, and
you just traded for him.
Well, because Bijan's
after he bleached his hair.
Listen. I do like Joe Burrow. I believe in Joe Burrow, and I do think Joe Burrow will be fine this year. I think. Am I the highest ranking on him? Am I? I think I have Burrow. No, I'm the lowest. I have him at 7.
I'm 6th.
Yeah, I have him at 7. But listen, this is because of his rushing upside. He doesn't have any. Of course, but he's solid.
Stroud, apparently.
Yeah, but Stroud's got more. But you know what? You know what Stroud does not have to deal with? I don't want to go explicit here, but he doesn't have to deal with a bum ass B in T Higgins always being up and down. I'm so over that guy. Stroud has.
Oh, now you're over.
Stroud has 3 superstars that can easily score 40 points a game.
98% roster share of T Higgins.
I have a 98% roster.
He's got him in every league. I hate T Higgins. I hate him. Get him in every league possible.
I hate him so much, and I still drafted him in Super League, I believe, or maybe I did not.
I love it when he plays, though.
I do love when he plays.
Yeah,
but he doesn't play.
When he doesn't get 1 catch for 14 yards,
or if he doesn't lose me a championship game because someone died on the field. But that wasn't his fault. But
first of all, last week you were talking about either him or Ayuk, and you were like, "Y'all take Pittman," and I'm like, watching
Pittman.
like you're an
Higgins,
idiot. By the way,
Higgins.
Yes, Higgins. And I'm like, you're an idiot. Why would you take Higgins over Ayuk? Like, I don't understand.
Listen.
I don't want to listen.
Sometimes I say things that are true. And that was one of them. I still would take T. Higgins over Brandon.
You're such a liar. You're 100% a liar.
I would. When we draft,
you know what?
We have a draft next week. And if that situation, we do have our first real redraft next week.
Yeah. Next
and
week.
If I take T. Higgins, if there's a situation where T. Higgins and Ayuk are on the board at the same time, I'll take T. Higgins.
Let's see
Jason,
it.
how say you on that one? I'm sure you're an Ayuk guy too, right?
Let's see. I'm trying to look at my rankings real quick. Yeah, I have Ayuk higher by a bit.
Because he's
Yep.
smarter, clearly.
Because he's smarter.
Well, it's just the offense. You know, I think that helps. And again, a lot of weapons. Same issue. Wide receiver 2 behind dominant wide receiver 1, and somebody who likes to get the ball, and it's a mess. So you're really playing with fire with both those players because really could be any week. They
And,
win or lose it for you.
One loss to Tyler Boyd, so there's a big. I mean, Tyler Boyd's not some scrub.
Jermaine Burton is coming in though. So
This guy, I want you guys to know, I've heard so much about Jermaine Burton, and I don't even know who he is, where he came from. He's guaranteed to bust because everybody thinks he's like some superstar. And I'm like, I don't know what round he was drafted in, but I've heard so much about Jermaine Burton. It's gonna be so good. I can't wait for him to bust because everybody's hyping this guy up, and I don't have anything against him. I don't even know who he is.
Well, so the thing about him is he's taking over that Tyler Boyd role. So he's going to see targets. If either Higgins or Chase are out for any period of time, or heaven forbid, actually get covered by somebody, he's going to be the next option because they don't have a tight end that is consistently catching passes. That job for the tight end is to block somebody and then occasionally catch a pass. So with that in mind, and they also lost Joe Mixon. So Chase Brown is going to be the guy there. Now I can't think of the other back. Zach Moss. It's both a hot mess in the backfield. We don't know who it's going to be, but that's allegedly who's leading right now is Chase Brown, which, okay, maybe.
Is he real?
That's what they're saying. I don't believe it, but
I don't believe that for a second.
Everybody is talking him up like he's going to be the next coming, and I'm just like, I don't want to touch it. So I'd much rather go with a Burton who's significantly lower, and is going to be in that Tyler Boyd role, catching passes. But again, another great weapon that Burrow has. And so having that as an unknown and probably going to play a bit in the slot is also going to help things. So having two big guys on the outside that are very fast and very talented, he's going to be getting a lot easier coverage.
Yeah. So Dave, I did talk about how he did fall off a little bit for casual people and for us as well. You know, we expected him to be top 5 every single year, but just the rushing upside's not there. And plus his injury, people are down on him because of last year. And I feel like it's the Herbert situation where he's been hurt a couple years, so he's fallen off big time. Like he used to be up here with these guys. Do you see Joe Burrow falling off into the mid-range, like a Dak Prescott, or someone has the talent, someone who could score a bajillion points? But I mean, we can easily see Dak, but I know, but he's not up here, is he? But he's not up here, is he?
But
that's what I'm talking
there
about.
Almost every year. I don't know why we keep ranking him so low, me included. I don't know.
That's my point. Are we going to get that way with Joe Burrow? That's my question.
It might happen, but maybe. I can't answer that, but that's a fair point. I think they're similar. They both are really, really, really good. They both score a ton of points. And for some reason, I don't know why Dak is lower. Now that I think about it, because he's so good too. It's probably the rushing. It probably is the rushing because I know I have Kyler ranked higher, and obviously that's rushing, you know. And I don't know who else I have up there, but that's probably why. So it's somewhat similar.
Yeah.
I have Dak a bit higher, but that's also because
I
think they're going to have to throw more. They saw how much success they had last year just throwing the ball for a touchdown instead of trying to run it. Mm-hmm. So
where do you have Dak at?
I have him at 4.
Oh, you have Dak super high. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I like it.
Also, Burrow with the wrist injury, like it's a recovery thing. I'm sure it's fine. But again, man, I've hurt my wrist plenty of times, and throwing is very repetitive motion. So saying how he strengthened tendons and did all the exercises, I'm sure he'll be fine. It's just want to see it. Got to see him on the field and throwing it a couple times for me to really buy back in that he can be up in that top 12.
Yeah, I believe that the ability of Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, if T. Higgins does want to play for reals this time, I think Joe Burrow can get up in that elite status. One thing that Joe Burrow has over a couple of these quarterbacks on this list, he can beat a coin flip. The same year Josh Allen lost a coin flip, Joe Burrow beat it. People forget that. Joe Burrow's an elite quarterback, and he deserves better than ranked quarterback 7. I feel ashamed. I'm ashamed of my rankings. Justin, how do you feel about Joe Burrow?
He was 1 second of protection against Aaron Donald from winning a Super Bowl.
Might have been.
I love Joe Burrow. I am worried about the wrist, and I'm glad that the Bengals have recognized the fact that camp is not good for Joe Burrow and are limiting his practice time, his playing time, all of that during the offseason. So hopefully week 1 he comes fully ready to go and he plays the entire season. But if he does play the entire season, like listen.
Okay. I was just curious. I figured I'd ask that question to stir the pot a little bit.
They try every year. I mean, they try every year to make that offensive line. They bring in Orlando Pace Jr. It doesn't get any better. So I don't know.
Who's the tight end over there? Who they bring in a tight end?
Your boy, Mike.
Didn't they get Gesicki?
Yes,
Yeah.
The greatest gritty of all time. The worst blocking tight end to ever exist.
That's why I'm like, he's not going to be on the field a whole lot. It's not going to happen. They need somebody to block and catch the ball occasionally.
I do need to see that gritty in Cincinnati, though. So that's one of my favorite things. I'm a Dolphins fan. That was one of my favorite things to witness when he was.
It was so bad. I was at that game.
What are you talking about? He taught me how to do that. Like I watched his video and repeat. Now I do it just like him. Awesome.
Terrible. I believe that.
That sounds like a great idea. Okay, so their offensive line: Orlando Brown Jr., Cordell Volson, Ted Karras, Alex Kappa, and Trent Brown. So, I mean, theoretically, they have 2 all-pro tackles. They got a decent interior. They keep drafting guys.
Grasping.
I'm really hoping if hey,
listen,
a little better.
Andrew Luck was a top 10 quarterback every year and had no offensive line. So,
and now he's out of the league.
Yeah.
Well, enjoying his
life.
He
almost died.
And hopefully that's not Burrow.
All right, let's round out this top 8 with Kyler Murray, who's our quarterback 8. He's going ADP 873 overall. I feel like he is the most, I guess, loved and hate player on this list. Early in the offseason, people were down on Kyler. He can't do this. He's too small. Yada. All the same things came out. Now everyone's getting on the trend of drafting him super high, and I don't like it. I don't appreciate it.
I hate that bullshit.
Yeah, I wish he would go back down. I feel like his ADP has risen higher than anyone on this list. And it's driving me bananas.
I have a feeling I know why his ADP is so high, and it's because people are drafting Marvin Harrison high, and they want to stack him.
There has to be a correlation. Like, that's the issue. If Marvin Harrison's going to do well, Kyler Murray has to do well.
Yeah. And I feel like people I think this tandem here, this duo, quarterback wide receiver, is going to be the most stacked duo in all of fantasy this year. And that's probably either going to really help your team or that's really going to hurt your team. It's not like stacking Hurts and Brown, because unless you have like the 11th pick, like that might be able to be a possibility, but I feel like that is why his ADP is so high, is people are drafting Marvin Harrison and then they go, oh, I have to get Kyler before everyone else does, and they draft Kyler early.
No, I 1000. That was my whole Scott Fishbowl strategy: grabbing Kyler, then grabbing Harrison. That was my thing, and I was the only draft in the world that he went super high. But I will say this about Kyler: I remember a long time ago, right after the offseason, we did a way too early rankings list. Do you remember this, Justin? Do you remember this? We did a way too early rankings for every position. This is like right after the Super Bowl. I had Kyler like quarterback 5, and you looked at me like I had 5 heads. It was this year. It was right after. It's because Anyway, so I still have Kyler 6 overall in my rankings. I'm still a big fan of Kyler. I've gone about Kyler like I think he's my love player. Like if we do like our most loved players, he's my quarterback. So I don't have anything else to say about him. If you want to go hear my thoughts on Kyler, go watch our old videos. Dave, I'm going to ask you. You have him higher than me. Explain yourself, man. I thought you were a Kyler hater.
When was I ever a Kyler hater? That doesn't make
I
any
love
sense
getting this
at all.
guy. Dude, when you're on the show, I just love rounding you up.
Year, so I'm just
yeah, I had nobody ranked.
You haven't won ranked last year. So
only person I ranked last year was
completely
unranked, and he was RB55. I think first of all, anybody that hates on Kyler is dumb. Doesn't he finish as like a top 5 or 6 QB almost every year in points per game? He's supported superstar receivers before. Yeah, so points per game, he's always like a top 10 guy. He rushes the ball. He's now added a superstar receiver. Trey McBride obviously took a huge step. Like, there's a lot of positives to go with this. And I don't know why you wouldn't want. If I can wait on Kyler and get him, however many rounds later than somebody that's taking Josh Allen, not that I obviously have him ranked higher than anybody else, but I'm going to do that because if Kyler's so consistent. And I don't know why he gets the hate. I really don't. Probably because his team's not good. Again, people hate that he didn't win. Okay, I get it. He's still for fantasy. I don't care. He's awesome. And I don't know why you wouldn't want that guy on your fantasy team.
Yeah, the hate for Kyler really started last year for me. Somebody specifically told me, and this is a real person, that Sam Howell's going to be more valuable this year than Kyler Murray. He thought that. I'm not. I'll tell you off air.
No, I want to call him out. Why won't you call people out?
I'll tell you off air. It's not a big deal. But he was serious about it. He's like, oh yeah, Kyler's done, dude. His team's over him. They want to get rid of him. He's too small. He's blah blah blah. And Sam Howell's the future. Like, he's gonna be the one, because we were talking about keepers. And I drafted Kyler last year, like, at quarterback, like in the 15th round. So I was able to keep him in the 14th. He's like, well, I'm keeping Sam Howell in the 11th. I'm like, cool, bro. Tell me how that works out for you when he's not playing. Well, here we are in 2024, and one's a super stud. I'm excited for Kyler Murray. I'm excited for him. I hope he becomes up there. I hope he passes all these quarterbacks and he finishes super high, like top 3, to prove everybody wrong. And I love it. And you're right. The ADP, I didn't think about that. You guys are way smarter than me. I didn't even think about the correlation with Marvin Harrison, because that has to be it. It's got to be, because there's not that many believers in Kyler Murray. And I think he's going to be awesome this year and do what he does.
That's just such a big price tag.
It's too much. I'm not paying that much. I'll be honest. I'm not paying for these quarterbacks. Not one of them.
I loved him when even like a month ago. Like, he was going the 10th, 11th round. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll buy this all day. Great. That's fine.
Exactly.
But now you're looking. If that 7th round.
If I'm looking at our 9 through 15 rankings, I will gladly take one of them in the 10th or 11th round.
Yeah. Before we get off the subject and get to our Once Upon a Draft, I do want to ask our guests one more thing before we do go. And I'll ask everybody. So any of these quarterbacks, I'll start with you, Jason. Tell me which late round quarterback, because we're all late round drafters. Which one are you targeting the most? Just what round, which quarterback? Give me a couple.
I mean, my go-to has been Jade Daniels. I'm buying into it because of the fact that Sam Howell did it. I mean, it's a bad defense, an okay offense. He's going to have to throw a lot. He can rush. Like, there's all these positives that are leaning towards him having success. And so Sam Howell last year was QB12, and you got him pretty cheap. So, I mean, you're looking at it again this year. Jane Daniels is way down there. I mean, you might even be able to pick him off the waiver, but I'm sure people are starting to take shots on him later rounds already. But that's been my go-to just because I have him super high. And I think his rushing floor just boosts that even more. I mean, you saw what Howell did, and that wasn't anything spectacular. Daniels is a much better quarterback. So it'll be very interesting to see how they decide to use him this year.
Nice. Justin, how about you, man?
Well, Jaden Daniels is my pick at ADP 13, though. But I'm not going to pick the same. I will be different. I'll let the guests take Jaden Daniels because that is my guy this year. Over 1,000 yards rushing in college last year, 3,000 plus passing yards. That doesn't include that factors in the sack yards that come out of your rushing stats. He would have finished QB1 in all of college football last year in fantasy points. Jaden Daniels is going to be a stud. And Jaden Daniels is going to be another fantasy stud that we keep talking about, like Anthony Richardson and all of those guys, and Justin Fields. Hopefully this turns around things for like Terry McLaurin and Austin Eckler and guys like that have fallen off the last couple of years. Late round guys. Justin Herbert, like
that baby, bolt up.
He's still good, right? Like Quentin Johnson can't catch a ball for his life.
But Josh Palmer
can. But Josh Palmer can. They just got Ladd McConkey's there. They just got
Hayden Hurst,
Gus Bus, and Hayden. Like Justin Herbert still has to be some kind of a guy, and I'm hoping Jim Harbaugh can turn that offense around and actually do something with that offense, even if it's dump off passes to the running back. I don't care. Justin Herbert is definitely going late, 114th overall, quarterback 16 in the ADP. I feel like he could still finish with a top 12 finish.
All right, Dave, I know you don't like to give out your strategies, but I promise no one's listening. What's your answer?
No one ever listens to us. I don't have an AEP listed for me. Herbert's a really good one, and so is Daniels. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. I think Tua's a good value where he can get him, and then super low guys, kind of. I think Cousins, Aaron Rodgers, and Goff are all really, really good, like high end QB2s. That I think Cousins with assuming he's healthy, London, Pitts, like Bijan's a stud. They got weapons. Rodgers, we know how good he can be. I think Gary Wilson's a stud. Mike Williams, if he's healthy, could be a super low key, like a great addition. Breece Hall's a beast. Like guys like that, with Detroit, Goff is really, really good. So I think if you really want to wait, you will be fine. Like QBs are deep; they always are.
Yep. My strat this year. Ooh, I'll say
Tua is at 14, Cousins is at 18, Stafford 19, Rodgers 20. So like 11th round is right about that point. So my
strat this year, I will be practicing in every single one quarterback league I'm in. Rodgers, he's my number one target. We all know that. If you know me, I'm targeting Rodgers, and then I will grab a second quarterback. You're gonna get Wilson
and Rodgers in every draft.
How did you know? How did you know? It's like you listen to me and you know me for years.
You're predictable.
But yes, very predictable. Always will.
You're not going to take Baker though, so.
Oh, because I was just about to say I'm going to end up with Baker on a lot of teams this year, and I will be rostering Baker everywhere because he is beyond cheap. Yes, I will.
No, you won't.
Probably not in our home leagues because we're in Tampa and people are going to overdraft him. But I will.
Don't forget it's July 31st, and there's still time for him not to start this year.
Hey, the turnaround on Baker for me has been unreal, guys. I have seen the light. He is my new favorite quarterback of all time. So,
here we go.
If we're going with really just spicy takes here, I guess I'm gonna say Deshaun Watson.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Even though I'm
good in practice today.
For that guy. That guy's terrible, but
he is still a rusher. Granted, last year wasn't great for him, but maybe he's seen the light, has good options. He continues to be that guy that he had been in the past, had taken the year and a half off and kind of getting rust off and Joe Flacco out playing him. But outside of that, it could happen. We're going
spicy take. I want a spicy pick also.
Go for it. Let's do it.
And this is one I am drafting as much as possible this year. I'm taking
Daniel Jones.
Justin Fields.
Oh my God.
Oh,
stop.
Justin
Stop
Fields.
it. Stop it.
Round 18. We're done
here. Let's go to the
Justin
draft.
Fields.
We're gonna do.
He's gonna start.
I'm gonna mute his mic. Jacob, mute his mic. It's nonsense. Don't tell people to draft Justin Fields. We are going to do a once upon a draft where we are all going to draft. It's linear, by the way. The Olympic team, sports team you would make, not event, Dave. Sports team. If you need help with these teams, Dave, go to the Olympics. Go to Google. And they'll have them all right there. All right.
Team USA.
Oh. That's not a team. Sporting team.
Like, I got this.
So the way this works is 3 rounds. That's linear. We always let the guests go first. And since I'm feeling nice, I'll give Dave the second pick. I'm going to take third. Justin will finish it off. So, Jason, without further ado,
which team?
What?
First, before we start. Why are we doing linear? In what world do you not go back and forth? That's what I need to know. Who made it? Who comes up with these rules? You guys are lost without me. You know what?
You're in
yes,
the
I just
chat.
wanted to complain. Yeah, and I just let you guys talk because you really don't listen to me anyways. So go ahead. I just wanted to say it out loud that you guys are dumb. But
okay, Dave, we appreciate your feedback.
It's more or less just what you think you can do.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
Yeah, okay. What do you think you could do if you really, really worked hard? You dedicated your time.
I mean, I rowed crew in college, so I'm going to say rowing.
Oh. All right.
Going spicy because I know that's one team that I could probably make. I'm not that giant like everybody else who's 6'3", 6'4", but
and we're talking about Summer Olympics, right?
Dude. Yeah, we're talking about Summer Olympics.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I had to search Summer Olympics and not all Olympics. Because when I first searched Olympic sports, they all came up. So I had to narrow it down to summer. All right, is it my turn? Am I 2?
Yes, it's your turn. You're number 2.
I'm just making sure. Well, I didn't know this was a thing. I didn't know this was a thing, by the way. Flag football apparently is an Olympic sport. And I'm going to go with flag football. because I'm getting myself back in my prime a few years ago. Back in my prime, I could have been that little slot receiver. So that's what I'm going for.
All right. So you think you're the
flag football?
Flag football. Okay.
That's
So I didn't think I'd be sniped right away because rowing was my number one because I do that 3 times a week, but I don't do it actually. I mean, I'm in the weight room rowing on the weights. I can do that.
Okay.
I know how.
Have you actually been in a show?
No, I've never have. I've never done anything like that, but I'm pretty sure I could. Right? That's an easy one for me.
8,
so that's taken
are you
away.
doing 8, 4, or 2, or 1? I guess you can even do a single.
If
you could.
I don't know. Probably 2. Okay. I don't know. I've never been on those
Probably
before,
8,
but I think
so you can be overshadowed.
Hey, you chill. All right.
You can hide in the middle on an 8.
I probably could.
He used to be like, it wasn't my fault. I was rolling my ass off. I don't know. I don't want to be lost.
That was me in chorus. I was in chorus for years. I would never sing. They would never hear me. So you're right. Good point. All right. So my number.
I believe that 1,000%.
Fun fact: I got accepted in the chorus. My brother Sam tried out. Didn't make the team. Failure to the whole Kimmel family. All right. I'm picking handball. I think I'm pretty good at handball. I think that I could be on that team. Again, not as a striker or scorer, but I can definitely handle some balls and throw them around and give some assists out. So handball for me is my.
I'm sure you can.
I can dish them out. I can all sizes. So handball. Justin, what about you?
Oh God, this show's really after dark. I'm gonna go with the one that I actually, if I continued to train when I was a kid, and in high school and college, that I could have maybe had a chance. Football, and not this football, the world's football, soccer.
Football.
I don't want to hear Jacob in the background saying you can't score goals because I do score goals.
All you do is you just kick the ball one side, they kick it back. It's cool. It's fun. Go back to Jason. What's your number 2?
Man, I'm going to go with. Man, I've done so many of these things. I'll go surfing.
Surfing. I've never been.
Okay.
Are you a surfer? Have you surfed before?
Yeah, I grew up surfing. I grew up in California, so.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Having that as one of the options, I was like, yeah, that's probably something I could do.
I looked at surfing.
Of course, it's in Tahiti, and it looks beautiful, and I'm super jealous. And Colin Yost is hosting it. And I'm like, I want to do that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I looked at surfing wise, but I live in Florida, and we don't have waves that go like past 2 inches, so I never surfed before.
Well, they also break really close to shore in Florida too, so it's if they're anything big.
Yes, we do the thing where we throw the boogie board and we just run and jump on it. That's our fun.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, Dave, what's your number 2 pick?
I'm trying to look. I don't like none of these sports.
Artistic swimming. I think he's got this under control.
You know what's funny is I looked at that and I was like, no, I'm definitely could not do that.
Curling.
Let's go volleyball. I could be a volleyball player. I could set somebody up. You know what I mean? I can do that. So
a lot of balls to the face. Can see it happening.
You know what? You never know. You gotta do what you gotta do.
I'm sure he does.
I'm gonna go with volleyball. I'll take volleyball. I could be on the team. So let's go with that one.
All right, I can dig that. This one's super easy for me. I do it every single day of my life. Weightlifting.
Yep. I figured you were going to take weightlifting.
Yeah, weightlifting. It's a simple layup. I mean, I can't do
Is that
what
a team sport?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
There's an Olympic U.S. men's and women's weightlifting team. Now, again, I can't do what they do, but I can do them just to a 10th degree. So if I can deadlift like 300 pounds, I can do that, but I'm not deadlifting 800.
I still really wish that the Olympics would just have like one regular person doing the sport, like just off to the side.
That'd be awesome.
Yes. We need one regular person doing the sport.
Just to compare, be like, this is what a regular person would look like. Dude, they've timed him, they've done whatever.
I want to see a Hunger Games style like Olympics where you get announced you are competing in this sport for the Olympics in 2 weeks. Go, and then you just have a bunch of random average people get selected for the Olympics.
I love it.
Crazy.
When I think about when I think about normal people doing the Olympics, Will Ferrell in Old School. Remember we did the routine with the ribbon? Don't they do
Yeah.
that in artistic gymnastics, or is that out of
Yeah.
the Olympics? There we go. So
I don't
yes,
know if it's still in, but I know it was at one point.
the
So
ribbon. That's what I picture Dave doing. All right, Justin, how say you?
After seeing like the videos of the winners of this sport, I'm a little concerned, but I can't believe
Rugby?
the US didn't have anybody in the that placed. But
Oh,
shooting, I will
Yeah.
take shooting.
I was like that was one that I'm like, how did we not win this?
How did we not like?
We have great snipers. They probably couldn't take leave.
Yeah, most likely.
That's probably what it is. They're all serving, so
But I'll
I
take
didn't think-
shooting.
All right, shooting. There you go. All right, Jason, wrap your draft up.
just because I think it would be interesting, I'd love to try the luge.
The luge. Is that is that winter?
Yeah. Are we sticking with summer?
Is
Because
that
I
winter?
go back to summer.
We're sticking with summer.
We're doing
Disqualified.
summer. I was like, wait, luge like on
I was like, wait a minute.
But I like
the
that.
skate-
I like that.
skateboards now?
Like that is tough.
You're on a slide and you're going as fast as you can.
I mean,
Just
that's
hope
awesome.
You don't die. Yeah, that would be.
I like that. Yeah.
Okay, then I'll go with a triathlon.
Ooh, the triathlon.
That way I can get all three. I mean, I like
Okay.
to swim. I like to run. Biking's pretty easy. So that'd be the next one.
There's no way I'd ever do that. Dave, what about you? I think I know what you're gonna pick next, Dave.
Tell me what you think. I want to hear it.
Canoeing.
No.
Well, softball's not in there. You'd pick softball number 1 if it wasn't there.
It says
Um,
baseball,
it's in there.
softball. I
Oh,
see it.
Oh, softball's there. I didn't see softball.
But it's probably like fast pitch, like real softball, not the
yeah.
board
There's
stuff. I
Team
play.
USA. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not beer softball, like
Yeah, not beer
league?
softball.
Not the
league.
same.
None of that stuff.
Not
Wiffle
quite the
ball.
same.
I'm gonna go. There's two I'm thinking about. I'm trying to decide which one. Let's
I
go
really hope
with.
I don't get sniped.
I'm gonna
Die.
do table tennis. I'm going table tennis. Table tennis is awesome. Everybody loves to play it. When you see it, you're gonna grab a paddle. If you're at a buddy's house and they have it, or you're at a bar and they have it, you want to play because it's fun. So give me let me get ready to go. I'll go make the table tennis team.
there you
Somebody
go.
bring up the chat because didn't Dave just give Jacob shit about saying he could play table tennis?
Yes,
It
in our
was funny.
chat. He's like, those guys are awesome.
Oh, I know. Oh, I'm saying me right now. I never score a point. I know that 100%.
You don't have to medal to be in the Olympics. I mean,
That's right. Exactly. I might get skunked, but I made it.
All right.
all right, Josh.
My pick's a little
Close it out.
controversial, and I'm not going to be mean, but I looked at this and I thought, wow, that's the ultimate Josh sport. I've
Breaking.
never seen a tough guy in my life say, I'm a black belt or whatever in Taekwondo. I never. They're all cowards. They're all losers. That's me. Like that's me. Like I fit the mold. I have the long hair. I think I'm a tough guy, but I'm not. Like I think like I am the Taekwondo guy, but I don't ever do Taekwondo. I bet you I'd be so good at it for all those reasons.
It's a
So-
lot of memorization.
For that reason,
That's really what it is to get
Yes.
to the top.
Josh, you are unathletic. You could not do Taekwondo.
exactly.
at all.
That's the point. Nobody I know.
Well, are you flexible?
I can
no,
be.
he's not. No, he's not.
Dave,
Can
No,
be.
he's not.
That does not inspire a lot of hope here.
All I'm saying is there's guys that I know that are like in their 50s. Like I used to do Taekwondo, and they're like, you know what I'm talking about, Dave? It's like that's me. Like I could be that guy. That's all I'm saying. So Taekwondo fits my mold. Justin.
I'm just glad it didn't get taken. I used to teach this. I am fairly decent at it. I would do canoeing, speed
Okay.
canoeing specifically.
Speak canoeing.
It's a good time.
That's an event, yeah. Or I'm sorry, canoe sprint is the actual name of it. But
Canoe sprint.
yeah, I would do.
So
canoeing.
I like that. That was fun. See, Dave didn't like this idea. We had some laughs. You didn't like it.
When
You
did
said
I
this
say
was
it
stupid.
like this?
You said it was
I said there's zero chance any of us would even have a chance. Even in my best days, I'm not making no Olympic team. I get that. That's why you're like, oh, the team that we could actually make. No, zero. But this was still fun. And I almost said
I'd
basketball.
love to try boxing, but I'm
But-
sure those guys are going to
Yeah,
whip my
exactly.
butt.
I almost said basketball, but I was like, wait, those guys are like 6'8", and I'm like 5'10". Like, nah, like, I'm good.
Dave's like over on
You
the
might be able to
three-point.
guard Curry and hope for the,
Yeah,
for the
I was
best.
just gonna say I'll stand on the corner and shoot some threes. That's about it, maybe.
Well, the
get blocked.
smallest guy was in Japan, and he was 5'6". He could handle him.
Oh, there you go. I could totally play defense on that guy.
They're like, Dave, we're up by 60. Wait, Campbell, not yet.
Off
We're
the
up by
bench.
100. Okay. You can go
Listen,
in
let
now.
me get in, baby. I'll lock him down. I will lock him down.
Yes, that's what you do. You lock people down. If you're watching still on YouTube, please let us know what Olympic sport you think you can compete in if you had to do it. Again, I think this is a lot of fun. Again, if you are watching in the comments, please let us know about our quarterback rankings as well. Who are we too low on? Who are we too high on? And who was just not mentioned? Who was snubbed in the whole rankings? Go over to our website.
Apparently breakdancing, because Wingate won't stop talking about it.
Breakdancing.
Yeah.
I saw that.
It's a new one this year.
My son loves to breakdance. He's not good at it at all, but he's interesting. Have you guys watched the Olympics, by the way? I know this is keeping you, but have you guys watched?
I love
right now.
women's volleyball, man. Ever since
When's it
Missy May
on?
trainer.
Is it even on yet?
Yeah. We have
I've
two
never-
different teams that are three of the girls are from USC. Shouldn't surprise you there. But one's from LSU, and she's been pretty good. So
Yeah, I used to like watching those girls, Misty May, and it was who's
Kelly
her
Walsh
teammate?
or
Yeah,
Christy
Walsh.
Kelsey Walsh.
Walsh.
Kelly
Yeah,
Walsh.
they were awesome. So,
Yeah.
and I haven't seen it yet. Now I'm gonna search for it because I used to like watching that too.
Yeah. And Misty May is actually one of the announcers for that. So
Oh,
Nice.
sweet. Yeah, I always like watching the 2-on-2 beach volleyball, men
Yeah.
or women. It's just so it's just so interesting to me how good they are.
so
And
athletic, man.
I
To
go to
run in
Clearwater-
sand and dive and keep it alive. It's nuts.
I go to Clearwater Beach and I'm done within like 3. Like, okay, guys, the sand, like
Yeah.
just imagine running that all the time. But Justin, make sure you guys go to ousffpod.com. Make sure you follow us on our YouTube page. Make sure you follow Jason. Jason, where can we find you again? Let everyone know.
That FF Nerd everywhere. And then, of course, we're doing our 32 teams in 32 days on our YouTube channel, Important Nonsense. I think the Falcons came out today. So if you want more of the breakdown on Kirk Cousins and all those guys, that's where it'd be. So appreciate
Perfect.
it.
Good. Awesome. Yes. Make sure you go check out his stuff. Make sure you go check out all of our stuff on our socials. We're always posting daily our rankings. We do have a new short that we put out, Bijan Robinson versus Saquon Barkley. Where do you stand? Some are right, some are wrong. The right ones go with Saquon. Make sure you follow all of our guys on Twitter. Make sure you follow everyone that I already told you to. Guys, we'll be back next week ranking more wide receivers and running backs. Until next time, peace out.
You're welcome. That I'm back, baby.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you watch or listen to podcasts. Follow on X and Instagram at OUSFFPOD. We'll be back next week for more ways to win your league.